Okay, cool. So class, I wanted to go over, exactly, how you submit a discussion and what you do in a discussion. So this is the document here, and I tried to kind of simplify the language at the beginning. So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to read a comic book, or the textbook, which is a comic book, whatever, graphic novel, and you're going to go to the discussion area of the class, which, if you see in D12, is right here. Okay. And you can see it has the due date, the instructions, the writing prompt, the calendar and the syllabus have the due date as well. But you click on this blue area, and you can see right here it says start a thread. Okay. So that's where you go to do the discussion. Okay. And so the first step you're going to do is on or before the due date, you're going to post your own, once you go, to the discussion tab, read the writing prompt, all that stuff, you're going to post your page long discussion post, just single spaced, as if it was a Microsoft Word document, single space page long discussion. Okay, that post is worth half the grade. So, if it's a 20-point post, 10 points. If it's a 10-point post, 5 points, whatever. Okay, now, on that same day, you may have to wait a few hours if you're the first one to post or if you're early. But on that same day or before the due date, you also need to go on to two other of your fellow students' page-long posts and write a 7 to 8 paragraph comment on, two other students' page-long posts. And don't just agree or disagree or like or dislike. Talk about what they're talking about. Take the idea another step, like, yeah, and I also thought about this with that idea, or also found another example of that on this page, or whatever. Just further the conversation intellectually. You have to do that twice, and that's worth 40% of the total grade. All right, now on the next day, the day after the due date, generally it'll be the very next day after the due date, you go in to your thread and see if people posted on or commented on your page long post, and then respond to them. And again, take the conversation, to the next level. Really show the critical thinking. Keep going with it. Um, you know, dive into the topic. And if no one posts on your thread, then you can't respond to them. So I'll just do the grade from step 2 and 3. If there's only one person, you can only respond to one person. So that'll be the 10% of the grade. But if you have two or more people respond to your post on time, they respond on time. You can't respond to people if they're a week late. So I don't count it. But if you have people respond to your post on time, at least 2 responses, at least 2 comments back to those responses. And like I said, if no one responds to your thread, or if they respond to your thread just, past the deadline, I'm only going to grade step 2 and 3. It's reasonable. It's not crazy, right? But on the other hand, if you're late in, posting, you're like after the due date when you post, that doesn't give students time to respond to you and kind of cuts out that whole process. So you will lose points if you're late. Okay. As far as, being able to respond back to students that respond to your post. Okay. All right. So that's the kind of the basic explanation of the discussion responses. I mean, main thing, do not summarize. They're not summaries. Okay. Anyways, you can respond in a 3-minute or less video if you would like, but it needs to be prepared like an oral presentation. It needs to be tight. It needs to be succinct if you're going to use video to do these discussions. Thank you, class. That is all.